let's start with the idea of going public. I feel like you have been talking about this as a possibility for quite some time. Where do we stand?
So we're trying to build the best company we can build, and I think building a company that would be a great public company is one of our goals. We recently completed a fundraising just back in January. We raised over $50 million, and so continue to build the company, and who knows what IPOs in our future, but we're certainly building to have a great standalone company.
Because you're able to raise so much in the private market, does it make you not even want to go public?
You know, it gives us a lot of flexibility, which is great. And so we get to keep making the investments, keep building the business, and can choose what comes next for the company.
You ran a company that got acquired by Yahoo in 1999, which makes you an expert in bubble. What, I mean, when...
Wow. Maybe the company was so special it would have been acquired at any time.
When and how will we know, when we look at valuations right now, pre-IPO, generally in technology, that they've gotten absurd?
Yeah, I think it's so hard to call bubbles. I think for a lot of us, what we focus on is truly building a business that can stand alone and isn't just continuously burning cash and continuously avoiding getting to having a business model. You know what, Shazam Advertising is now our primary revenue stream and continues to scale nicely. And so building a company that can break even, generate profits, and generate long-term cash flow.
If advertising is the name of the game for you, though, you are getting into a very crowded space where you've got all the traditional media platforms that want advertising dollars, and then you've got the Facebooks and Twitters and Snapchats of the world. How are you going to really compete there?
So fortunately, most advertisers are trying to allocate their spend more towards mobile and certainly more towards digital, and that's where we live. So over 120 million monthly active mobile users, delivering messages to people on their phones, on an app they love, that's highly relevant to what they're doing. So we like where we're positioned in the advertising market.
Is your growth path a matter of getting more and more users, or having those existing users use your product in new ways?
It's really both. So we continue to try to get more and more users. I mentioned over 120 million monthly active users.
Are those domestic or worldwide?
That's the global number. Most of those are outside the U.S. And then trying to deepen our engagement with those users. So, for example, recently we launched the ability for artists to share what they're Shazamming with their fans on Shazam. And we've authenticated over 500 artists' phones, including people like Coldplay and Shakira, Ed Sheeran, and they have over 2 billion followers on Shazam. So now when Ed Sheeran Shazams, we send a note to his followers, over 20 million on Shazam, and they can come see what music did he just discover. And so continuing to add content to the experience, give people more reason to come more frequently and spend more time.
This is sort of what Jay-Z and the Tidal crew claimed that was what was so special about Tidal, is that Jay-Z and those artists, this was going to be a platform native to them, and you were going to build a relationship there. So do you view Jay-Z and Tidal as a threat? And if so, how are you going to defend yourself?
So we really have a Switzerland-like position. We partner with Apple Music and Google Play and Amazon and Rhapsody and Deezer, and would love to partner with Tidal as well. So we view them as a potential partner and not as a competitor at all.
That's an invitation.
There you go. You watching? You listening?
Jay-Z's paying attention.
When we look at music streaming in particular, we tend to see it as a two-player market. It's really just Spotify and Apple. What does the market look like from your perspective? How many real players are there?
So clearly, Spotify is huge. Apple's huge. Google also has Google Play, which is meaningful. YouTube just launched their Red offering, and then you have Deezer and Rhapsody and others around the world, including Tidal. And so we think it's a robust market for giving users lots of options.
If you're Switzerland within all of these other services, one thing that you absolutely have to be able to rely on is that they're sustainable long term. Is this model that Spotify has developed, that Apple now uses as well, is for music streaming, is it sustainable?
Sure. Well, certainly, Spotify recently raised an enormous fundraising round at over $8 billion. Apple has made a huge push into music. Amazon is doing really smart things in music. Google certainly is sustainable and is increasing their focus on music. So lots of I would say, increased investments into the music space as opposed to decreased.
With all that money they've raised, are you an acquisition target?
Well, we have close commercial partnerships with lots of these companies, and certainly think that could be an eventuality at some point. But we continue to focus on having smart business relationships with them, having strong relationships with them, and we'll see where.
But you're not talking to anyone now.
We can't comment on that, but we'll see where things end up.
Rich, it's interesting in that litany you didn't mention Pandora. Was that conscious?
Pandora is one of our partners. They're U.S. and Australia only, and so not as much of a global player as the others that I mentioned, but the clear leader in radio in the U.S. and an important partner of ours.
What happens to you if Apple Music is clearly a big push. What if Apple creates its own app with Shazam-like features, so many of us, even if we love Shazam, that Apple ecosystem is so deeply entrenched in our homes.
Right. So one thing we've stayed very focused on is always being the world leader in music identification. So the Shazam core music recognition keeps getting faster, keeps getting more accurate. And then when Apple decided that Siri needed to be able to identify music, we were able to partner with them. So that's actually Shazam. And it's branded Shazam, and if you click on the link, it takes you to Shazam. So have a great partnership with Apple, but the main answer to that is we just continue to make sure we are the best in the world at music identification.
I told Rich on the break, the first time I ever heard, the first time I downloaded Shazam was about 10 years ago, and it was Bob Iger.
Really?
It was in my office. He said, David, you won't believe this brand new app. And he said, put some music on, and I did it, and he demonstrated to me. So
well, what Shazam
Bob's an early adopter.
It also makes anyone cool, right? You're someone, oh, yeah, I mean, I love this. I love this. This is my jam.